Mark Redan says he's paid no attention to what Phoenix fans think, and that every story needs a hero and a villain. Ufuk Talay, Steve Corica's assistant at Sydney FC last year as they won the championship. Now he gets the chance to head up an A-League side for the first time. He and Redan are great mates from their playing days together, but that friendship goes to one side as well, at least for the next 90 minutes. Not sure about that graphic because Kurt Ams is our referee tonight. He was here twice last season, including the Phoenix's 4-1 win over Brisbane just before Christmas. And Western United have created a monster huddle. Not just the players, but the support staff and everybody connected with the club. Getting some final words from Mark Redan left of screen there as they look to take to the field for the very first time. Ulises Davila, the first player from Mexico to feature in the Hyundai A-League, the age group international, had 4 years at Chelsea without ever cracking the first team squad. Philip Curto, 25 games for the Phoenix last season, winning the A-League's Goalkeeper of the Year award, 95 saves, more than anybody else. The Polish custodian impressed us all with his shot-stopping and exaggerated diving. Today he faces his former side at a ground he knows very well, and there is Ulises Davila. He most recently played under former Adelaide United coach Josip Gombal at the Delhi Dynamos in India. Final words of advice from Stephen Taylor there, back to camera for his fresh-faced looking Phoenix side. So many changes to this team, 13 new players in the 20-man squad as we speak, and one hopefully to be added in the week ahead before the transfer window shuts. All is in readiness here. Wellington Phoenix, yellow and black, their familiar colours, and the brand new strip of Western United, the green and black. They'll be attacking the goal to our right. Just some final little bits of preparation and housekeeping being done there by Josh Soterio and Ulises Davila. Soterio's good to go at his new club, and I think we are good to go here in Wellington tonight. There's a familiar face, Besart Berisha. Little kiss for the ball. He's back in the A-League after a year away in Japan. A new chapter in Australasian football begins. It is exactly 10 months since Western United were announced as the A-League's newest side. And tonight they begin their competitive life as the A-League expands from 10 to 11 teams. And the new boys start in familiar surroundings for their coach and a couple of key players, including that man. They face Wellington Phoenix, who have a fresh look themselves. 13 new players in this, their 13th season. A brand new rivalry to enjoy from the very first round of the season, one which will no doubt flourish in the years ahead. A warm and highly anticipated welcome to Western United as they take the first steps in what we all hope will be a long and successful existence. Certainly the crowd early on letting Western United know where they are, Fred.
Yeah, especially Andy Durante getting the boos every time he touches the ball. I think that'll die down after a little while, but straight away we can see the formation, the shape that Ufuk Talay has set this Wellington Phoenix side up with. Out of position, they'll drop back into virtually a 4-4-2. In possession, look for it to be a 4-2-2-2, similar to how Sydney FC play. And there's no questions on where Ufuk Talay has picked up that formation and that style of play from Steve Corica and his time at Sydney FC. And for Western United, it's the familiar 3-5-2 that the Phoenix put to such good effect last season as well. got Josh Risden, Connor Payne, the wide players pushing right up high, trying to engage Libby Kakache and Louis Fenton as the fullbacks for the Phoenix.
There's football's newest rule, allowing the goalkeeper to pass to a teammate inside the penalty area. Durante brings it out. St Guillen back in the A-League as well. Yeah, that season with Adelaide United, of course. And also a returnee in the shape of Connor Chapman. Here he is, back on Australasian soil. Diamante's first attacking contribution is to try and free up Risden. Nice ball into the area, and Berisha arriving well. It hasn't taken him very long, just 2.5 minutes to get a first sight on goal. 116 A-League goals, hungry to add to that tally.
Lovely run from Berisha here. You see him come into shot, just getting in front of his man, just his header misdirected. But a warning sign for the Wellington Phoenix. Straight away, you can't allow a guy like Besart Berisha that sort of time in the penalty area, or that sort of space in the penalty area.
Here's our first look at Davila, trying to slip away from a couple of would-be tacklers. Connor Chapman had time with Newcastle Jets and Melbourne City. Last 2 years in Korea, the Western United #6 with Incheon United and the Pohang Steelers. Australian age group international. We'll take some time to try and introduce some of these new players to you. Seeing them for the first time. Matty Steinman, the German, on the ball now. Luke De Veer's been around for a while, but his first game in Phoenix colours.
We saw in the warm-up when with the Wellington Phoenix as well. Had Matty Steinman, Alex Rufer picking up balls and then trying to play diagonals in behind the defence, or to players running in behind the defence. So we saw that straight away. Stephen Taylor picking up the ball, looking for the long diagonal. So expect to see a fair bit of that this evening as well.
Here's Steinman in midfield. De Veer gets rid of that one. Stephen Taylor's been very vocal about his pride at being the Wellington Phoenix's third captain. Incredible, really. Ross Aloisi in the first season, Andrew Durante ever since, and Stephen Taylor starting today, and Matty Steinman here is going to get a talking to. Not just from the referee, but from Western United skipper Alessandro Diamante too. Former Bundesliga player Matty Steinman with Hamburger. Was also here in New Zealand for the 2015 Under-20 World Cup with Germany when they got through to the quarterfinals. He was a member of that squad too. One finds its way through to Stefan Marinovic. New man in goal as well for Wellington. All-whites goalkeeper Stefan Marinovic. Great to see Louis Fenton back as well. He was such a revelation at right back last season. Broke his foot, of course, against Newcastle in round 23, and that rolled him out of the remainder of the season. Had some complications around toe infections as well, but back in the fold, and he is now Wellington Phoenix's most experienced player. That in terms of A-League appearances for Wellington anyway. Here's Connor Payne. This is Panagiotis Kone, the Greek international. Payne again. Now Diamante. De Veer in the way and helped away by Fenton, and then the shot came in, flying wide of the target.
Nice football from United, though. The way they just passed through the heart of the midfield. I think Mark Redan will be very pleased with the combination play that they just showed there. Ball into Dario Jurtek, the turn and the play out wide, the interplay down that left flank was very pleasing, I think, from a coach's perspective.
Here's Callum McCowart trying to get hold of the football, unable to. Risdon with some clever footwork. Given away by Gulam. Can Wellington capitalise? Heavy touch by McCowart, but he's retained possession. Kakachi. This is Rufer looking for that little pocket of space for David Ball to run into. He should be able to keep that one in under pressure from Durante. For a passing avenue, has to go back. You'll notice Durante in the number 4. He said that he wasn't keen on the 22 that he wore so well, or wore for so long here in Wellington, but 2 + 2 = 4, he says, so maybe there is a bit of a nod to his time here in Wellington. Fenton with the cross. It's Durante with a good clearing header. 37 years old now, Andrew Durante, but as fit as ever. Apparently still comes in the top 3 of all the fitness testing at Western United. Keeps himself in great shape. Wife Sarah and their 3 daughters are here tonight to watch Andrew Durante debut for Western United.
Again, we see the switch and play that the Phoenix look like they're employing. As soon as the play doesn't build up down one side, they'll pull out, play across the back 4, and then try very hard to get the ball into Callum McCowart or Ulysses De Villa, who will pull really wide.
Barisha with a handball there, didn't necessarily agree with the referee's decision. That's not rare. Here's McCowart. As well to bring Kakachi back in. Phoenix quite happy to go back in order to find the right opening. Talk about the welcome that Western United have received here in Wellington. They arrived at Wellington Airport yesterday, and we're going to jump on a coach to go straight to a training session at Scots College, which is near Wellington Airport. They got on the bus and the bus wouldn't start. The driver tried the key a number of times. They sat there waiting for it to start and it wouldn't. So in the end, Scots College had to employ their student vans to run the team back and forth over about 4 or 5 journeys. So I'm not sure whether that's just coincidence or whether the bus company was doing their bit to welcome Western United here.
That's a smart bus driver, isn't it? Disconnect the battery. Mate, it won't start.
Steinman has taken the place of Mundy, who sat at the base of Wellington's midfield for most of last year with Alex Rufer. But more of a physical presence, certainly taller than Mundy. Patient build-up from Western United as well. Risdon. Barisha coming to get it now. Diamante to test his passing range. Fenton in the way as the radar was slightly off. The ball back towards Taylor and De Villa was between the two, and they had to quickly make up their mind that it was going to be De Villa who got it away. defence and still in a bit of trouble here. Ball given away, but once again Luke De Vere with the crucial intervention. Jurtek looks a tidy player already, doesn't he? 34-year-old Croatian. He spent most of his playing career in his native country. Also played, though, in Saudi Arabia, Slovenia and Kuwait. Such is the life of a professional footballer. His latest stop, Western United. There he is on the ball now. Diamanti. Kind of looking to free up Berisha, just a step or so ahead of Besart Berisha, who applauds the intent.
And that's the difference between the two sides at the moment. That ball from Durante into Jurtek, get allowed to turn there in the centre circle and play the ball forward again. And at the moment, when the Phoenix are trying to go forward, it's a ball over the top. They're trying to pass, chip the ball over the top and behind the defence. West United keeping the ball on the ground, sliding balls in behind the defence and looking much more dangerous for it.
De Vere joins the attack. McCowart, can he slip a ball into the path for Kakachi? Yes, that's the pullback. It's really good defending by Andrew Durante all the way across into his former teammate behind for Wellington's first corner.
Yeah, good work from McCowart here. Slides in, sees the run from Kakachi. And I think that's a combination that could pay huge dividends for the Phoenix this season.
Corner taken towards the near post. Dealt with pretty competently by Western United. Back it comes, though, as Steinman gives it to McCowart. He's a naturally right-footed player. Couldn't get it onto his right foot, but has earned a throw down by the corner flag. Kakachi looking to milk a foul and does so off Josh Risdon, who queries the decision. Vastly experienced player now, Josh Risdon. 7 seasons at Glory, a couple at Western Sydney, and now here at Western United. 14 Socceroos caps, 171st A-League appearance tonight. Key cog in this Western United side.
Yeah, but a dumb foul. Phoenix were going nowhere, going backwards. Ball was probably going to get played to the back four and then recycled around the other side of the field. Allows them to get an attacking free kick.
Far too close to the keeper from Alex Rufer as he and Davilia sized things up. They want to get his delivery a bit better than that, Alex Rufer, as the game and the season continue. Phoenix don't often win their first game of the season. In fact, they've only won 2 of their previous 12 season openers, both of them here. One of them last year against Newcastle. The other one 7 years ago against Sydney FC. Here's a ball forward as McDonald peels away, does he? Yes, it is Scott McDonald. Australian international towards the far post. And acrobatic on the far side.
There's a lovely ball over the top. McDonald does well, holds the ball up and checks back. And the ball out to the back post. Not sure why that's not a header from Panagiotis Kone. He's gone for the acrobatic volley, but probably would have done better just to come in and head the ball. Again, the move started with the ball. I think it was from Connor Chapman into Josh Risdon that went past Callum McCowart. I think for Western United, because they've got such width with the 5 across the midfield, if they can slide those balls in behind McCowart and De Vere, then straight away they're on the attack. They have the impetus for the attack. And it also forces McCowart and De Vere to do, a lot of defensive work.
You You can hear the urging from Ufuk Talay, bottom of screen, bottom right there, telling his team to keep it, be patient. Taylor now drifts one towards Ball. Brings it down beautifully, David Ball! Just wide from David Ball. Well, what a debut that would have been for the Englishman. He did the first bit brilliantly, couldn't quite poke his shot in the right direction, but lovely control from the Englishman.
Yeah, lovely touch. Beautiful touch. Ball over the top from Taylor. That's an exquisite first touch. Just pulls it across his body, takes out the defender, and then it's all on the finish. And unfortunately for David Ball, the finish slides past the post. By far the best opportunity for the Phoenix.
A vastly experienced player, David Ball, 10 years in England at clubs like Manchester City, Swindon Town, Peterborough United, Rochdale, Fleetwood Town, Rotherham and Bradford City. That's some CV. He's rocked up in Wellington and is keen to add to his 83 goals and 373 top-flight appearances. A metre or so away from doing so there. Here's McCowart. Slippery character as Konak tries to hold his progress and does so legally, says referee Kurt Amps. Chapman goes long towards Berisha, who gets the little touch ahead of De Vere. Taylor sliding in. Pretty even first 18 minutes or so, Fred.
Yeah,
half chance or two each, sorry.
Yeah, rather guarded from both sides. I think you can see the Phoenix dropping off, allowing Western United just to build up play virtually at will. And then when the ball first goes into that midfield area, that's when they start to put the press on. And similarly, see here, Berisha just dropping off, no real urgency, allowing the Phoenix to have the ball. And as they come up to the halfway line, that's when the pressure goes on. Phoenix in these sort of positions, looking to put the ball over the top. And for West United, when they get in this sort of area, looking to slide the ball in to Berisha and McDonald's feet. So a contrast in styles, contrast in attacking intent.
Fenton with a bit of room to work in. De Vere inside and Ball further ahead. Here's Ulysses De Vere. Nice to McCowart. Can't get away from Durante, but he will win possession back if the referee will get out of his road. Kakachi. Once again, they'll retain possession. Steinman sitting at the base of midfield there, just tidying up. Chance for Connor Payne to get a foot on the ball. Here's Jurtek. Nice little shift of body position to give Payne the chance to run. McDonald touches it off. Jurtek not quite expecting it. That turn again from Jurtek, just in and around the centre circle you talked about, Fred. To Berisha, who holds it up. Diamante. He's going to let fly. Diamante! Marinovic always saw it coming. The big eyes, nice and wide from Stefan Marinovic.
First save he's had to make, Stefan Marinovic. Long-range effort, Diamante. But again, the guy that's pulling the strings for United, Dario Jurtek, the number 12, getting the ball on the half turn and then opening out and looking to play little 1-2s Once United get over that halfway line.
Yeah,
looks a good player.
Yeah, he does. He's a very good fulcrum, isn't he, for this Western United side. I think we're going to see a bit of Dario Jurtek this A-League season. Always exciting when new players arrive. Fenton looking to lift the excitement levels. Gullum gets it halfway and then hacked away by Western United. Nice ball to Davila. He was a bit surprised at the space he had. Rufer. It'll be Kakachi now. Risdon gets the better of him initially. Steinman mopping up. McCowart. Some vigorous defending there from Panagiotis Kone. There's McDonald with a chance to run the Australian international. Couldn't find Berisha. Great to see Scott McDonald in the A-League after so many years away as well. Pretty even there in terms of passes made in the first quarter of the game. Ball is again the target. Durante again assured in the air. Given away though, and Davila has the chance to recycle. Soterio. McCowart goes down under a heavy challenge in the area. Back from Kakachi, David Ball, and into Chapman and behind for a corner. Well, it was a heavy fall from Callum McCowart in the first instance as he challenged for that ball. Then David Ball with the opportunity from a tight angle.
Well, in transition, I think the Phoenix have plenty of opportunities. There's that collision, Risdon and McCowart. Kakachi just puts his foot through it, and David Ball reacts very quickly once the ball had bobbled up. Bang, Risdon. Welcome to the A-League, Callum McCowart.
Davila has taken over at set-piece time from this left-hand side. Things not quite to his liking. Now he delivers. Rufer with the shot, and no chances taken by Berisha in his own 6-yard box. You don't often see him there. He's normally 100 metres down the other end, but taking no chances as Rufer's shot bounced towards him.
Ball flicked on there. Alex Rufer just bounces that one in. They don't really look that composed when defending this Western United team. Good when they've got the ball, not so good in transition when they don't have the ball.
Short one taken, Davila. No change there. Well, look to build again with Kakachi to plant it back in. Kurto sees it, drops it. Under pressure from Luke De Vere. Kone brings it away. McDonald's come all the way across to gather this one. 36 years old now, Scott McDonald, 26 caps for Australia. Still looks fairly sprightly up top for Western United. Connor Payne takes on Davila, goes past him easy. Connor Payne! The net ruffled, and those on this side wondered whether perhaps that had gone in, but no. The side netting, and they're wondering why that's not a corner. I thought it was too at first look.
And this is the danger of Connor Payne. Just goes straight past Ulysses Davila. And that's a dangerous area. He's got the ball almost to the 6-yard box. And McDonald can't direct the cross on target.
Yeah, right decision in the end there. It was McDonald who got just in advance of that near post, unable to get the angles right. Soterio's gone out to the right-hand side to see if he can get some change from Ersin Gulam. Gulam tracks him all the way back. Western United looking to buck a bit of a trend in the A-League. Only 4 teams in A-League history have won their first game in the competition. Brisbane Roar, who were then Queensland Roar, of course. Adelaide United and the Central Coast Mariners won their first games in the A-League's inaugural season. And when Gold Coast United joined, they also won their first game. But just those 4 in A-League history have won their very first A-League match. Soterio draws the foul.
Yeah, ball into Soterio with some Gulam just coming through the back of Josh Soterio. Really seen Soterio. I think Ufuk-Talay is trying to get the likes of Soterio, to a lesser degree probably David Ball, and the midfielders win possession first off. Immediately the run goes.
It's Kakachi, great save, Curto. Libby Kakachi from all of 30 yards. Philip Curto, well, he must have known his former teammate had that in his locker. Look at this from Curto.
Yeah, gets a good look at it, Philip Curto, and in the end, reasonably comfortable, but nice strike from Libby Kakachi. Give the young left back some confidence.
Yeah, opened his A-League account, goal-scoring wise, last season. Curto's come for this one. He flaps and it hits Barisha. Was heading behind for a corner before Curto dived on it. That's not exactly confidence-inspiring goalkeeping there from Philip Curto.
I think the referee was signalling afterwards that if he hadn't regathered the ball, it would have been a foul. But still, you know, from a defender's perspective, you never like it when you see your goalkeeper drop the ball, regardless of whether it's a foul or not. Just want to see your keeper come through and just barrel everything in the way and end up with the ball in the gloves.
Yeah, there's a crowd of bodies there. But even so, as you say, Fred, you want that dominance. Ufuk-Talay, Wellington's 6th head coach. Following Ricky Herbert, Ernie Merrick, Des Buckingham, Daria Kalazic and Mark Rudan. One of his current assistants, Chris Greenack, has been interim coach about 3 times as well. McCowan does well to hold on to it. Can he find a teammate? Davilia on the edge, bundled off the ball by Payne. Phoenix win it back illegally, says the referee. Diamante unceremoniously dumped.
Ball out to Diamante. Matty Steinman just coming through the back of him. Regulation foul, but Diamante not really having the influence on the game that I think people were expecting given his pedigree.
Yeah, he's some acquisition, isn't he? 17 caps for Italy. Went to the 2012 European Championships with the Azzurri. Plenty of games in Serie A. Also West Ham United in the Premier League. Risdon. Barisha got the call to leave it and did. McDonald now with a shot. But a pinball in the penalty area. Diamante can't get it. He might now though. Diamante all the way along the carpet. Marinovic untroubled.
He's dangerous there for a minute for the Phoenix. Besart Barisha, the ball was slightly behind him, so I think that was the only reason he left it, because he's not one to give up an opportunity for a shot on goal. And we've already seen Diamante hit one from outside the box, so you can see that he fancies himself as a long-range striker of the football.
Yeah, Mark Rudan doesn't mind a shot from outside the area. The Phoenix led that metric last season, so Rudan's obviously quite happy for players to try and find their range. Here's Risden. Diamante again. Is he going to try his luck again? No, instead tries to bring Connor Payne in. Nice touch from Payne. De Vere gets it halfway and then Steinman hacks it up into the sky. Connor Payne is causing a few issues down Wellington's right, Western United's left. Let's go sideline to Harry Nada, who's been watching on from ground level. What are you seeing, Harry? It's a pretty even game from up here.
Yeah, g'day, Piney. Yeah, it is pretty even down here. I think just an instance there when the Phoenix seemed like they're getting into a good attacking position and they end up coming back out and trying to retain possession. There's a couple of times where I think anyway, they could be a bit more aggressive in that attacking third and really put some pressure on the likes of Chapman and Durante. Durante, as we've seen, getting boos early on in the first half there, but everything going through Durante in the middle of the park for Western United, through Yurtek and through Kone as well. So a very accomplished and, well, good passing side from what we can see from Western United.
Thanks, Harry. Yeah, there's plenty of experience there. You look at the games that have been played, not just in the A-League, but around the world, from players like Durante, Goulam, Diamante, Kone, even the likes of Josh Risden, who's been around, as I mentioned before. Jurtek playing that pass now. Even Connor Payne, an A-League Centurion. Here he is, towards the far post. Risden, and it's in! And the honour of Western United's first A-League goal goes to a familiar face. Besart Berisha makes history for Western United. Their first goal in the A-League is scored by the competition's master marksman.
And this all comes about because Connor Payne gets outside his man. He's been the real danger man. He gets outside Ulysses De Vere, and then the ball comes across. Lovely cut back there from Josh Risden, and Besart Berisha always alive in the move. You cannot give Besart Berisha a couple of metres space inside the 6-yard box. He will do exactly that, make you pay. Beautifully worked goal from Western United.
So Besart Berisha joins a few other fairly prominent footballers as the first goal scorer for an A-League club. The likes of Shane Smelt, who was Gold Coast United's first goal scorer. Dwight York scored the first goal for Sydney FC. Archie Thompson, Melbourne Victory's first goal scorer. Alex Brosk scored the Raw's first goal. And Mark Bridge, of course, Western Sydney Wanderers' first A-League goal scorer. Besart Berisha has that honour for Western United. You're right, though, Fred. Connor Payne was integral to that goal. He's in the action again, Payne. He stayed onside, looking to pick a pass. Flicks off the head of a Phoenix defender, and Kakachi should be able to complete the job.
Yeah, the difference is, on the left-hand side for the Phoenix, Callum McCowart is dropping back to do the defensive work against Josh Risden. But on the other side, on the Phoenix's right-hand side, Ulysses De Vere isn't. And Connor Payne is getting around the outside of him. Louis Fenton's dropping inside because the back four are marking quite narrow in the pitch, and that's allowing Connor Payne just to drive into the penalty area.
117th A-League goal for Besart Berisha, his 14th against Wellington Phoenix, so he doesn't mind a game against the Phoenix. Besart Berisha. I guess we wondered whether the year away with not a lot of football would take away any of the sharpness. Well, in the 6-yard box, he is absolutely deadly, as he showed there, and he's got Western United off to the start they were hoping for.
The other thing, Piney, you look at the amount of yellow shirts that were in the 6-yard box there for the Phoenix. It was about 4 or 5, and Donald was able to find Besart Berisha. He's lethal from that from 4 or 5 yards, isn't he?
Soterio is fouled by a retreating Panagiotis Kone. It'll be another free kick for Wellington, who will be dead keen to bounce straight back from that early deficit.
And for me, I think the Phoenix have to sort of open the game up a little bit, make it more of a transition game. At the moment, Western United are quite comfortable with defending against a slow build-up, where the ball's, the ball's being played across the pitch, played in front of them. I think the Phoenix have to release the shackles a little bit. Let Satorio run, let Davila run, let Callum McCowart run at the defenders. Make it difficult for them.
Crowded penalty area for Davila to plant the ball into. He's wanting the 10 yards from the referee. Kurt Am seems happy enough with where Diamante has positioned himself. Delivery not all it could have been from Ulises Davila. Touched by Soterio towards Davila, who does well to get it, but he used his arm. Says Kurt Ams, and he was right there.
The touch comes in here from Kone. It's a bit of a harsh call. Brushed across his chest onto his shoulder.
Barisha's goal has certainly silenced what is a good crowd here in Wellington tonight.
Got to ping it.
Rufa does ping it, looking for Kakachi. Cut out by Risdon. McCowart retreating to recycle.
Again, that's an attacking tactic for the Phoenix. Callum McCowart down the left flank, just driving inside, opening up a channel for Libby Kakache to run into. Then you need the likes of Alex Rufa, Matty Steinman to pick the pass. That time it got cut out, but I really think that is an attacking opportunity that the Phoenix have.
Yeah, the one big question mark over Wellington Phoenix ahead of this season was where the goals might come from. When you lose players like Roy Krishna and David Williams and the creativity of Sarpreet Singh, it's a natural question to ask. Jertek able to turn again and bring McDonald into the fray. Scott McDonald, busy. Diamante, pinpoint pass to Payne. Couldn't get the delivery right that time, Connor Payne, but lovely piece of work from Alessandro Diamante.
Yes, you can see his quality in those little glimpses. There's a good run across the 18-yard box by Diamante, demanded the ball, and as soon as he got it, he could see the pass and the run from Connor Payne. Just with the likes of Diamante, Jertek, Kone, they do have a very creative midfield, but I mean, the question mark is going to come when you really put pressure on them, and especially when they're running backwards. When they're going backwards, I don't think they're a midfield that would like to defend for long periods. So I think that's where the Phoenix need to try and get to. That's why I say maybe playing the game more in a transition sense, where there's plenty of the ball changing hands, would probably suit them better.
Barisha's dropped deep to try and pick up possession. Has it taken off him, and he apologises to his teammates. But it's such a familiar sight. Besart Barisha buzzing around, making a nuisance of himself. A-League defenders thought they'd got rid of him, but he's back again in green and black. And eager for work too. He's not just playing at the point of the arrow. Dropping back into midfield to pick up possession as well. Durante has looked very assured, albeit under minimal pressure for the most part, but just the composure that was such a trademark during his time here in Wellington. Cool head at the back.
I must say it's nice to watch some of the movement in the midfield from Western United. You see Diamante pushes right up into the forward line. Likewise, Kone leaves Jurtek just deep in open space. But the real pleasure is like when the ball gets fizzed into one of those players and their ability just to knock it off first time. And you know, the accuracy of that pass makes it very difficult for the Phoenix to create pressure on the ball, because when it does come into them, you think you've got him, and then he just lays off the first-time ball, and then he's away again. And so you know, that can get quite demoralising after a while, but nice to watch.
Approaching half-time, and what we're told will be an extra 2 minutes of added time at the end of this first half. See if Wellington can fashion something in the way of a goal-scoring opportunity before we head to the half-time Oranges. Is Kakachi. Steinman thought about the diagonal pass, but then thought he'd bring it forward himself. Tavilli goes down under a good challenge from Durante, who can now break into rarefied air. He's over halfway, Durante. Has it taken off him by Rufer. McCowart, can they take advantage of a hole in the middle of Western United's defence? Shot up and over from David Ball. Well, you can hardly blame him for having a go. He's a striker. That sort of thing runs through his blood. Radar off on that occasion.
And again, in transition, the Phoenix driving forward. Durante gets picked off. McCowart picks it up, does what he loves to do, run with the ball, finds David Ball, and Curto's got that covered, but at least it puts a question mark in the defence's mind.
David Ball with the 5th shot in this first half for Wellington Phoenix. Just the one on target so far. Western United have had half a dozen goal-bound efforts, 4 of which have been on target. And of course the game's only goal through Besart Berisha. Western United will be happy, I'm sure, just to run the clock down, get inside, regroup and work on their strategy to hold this lead and even extend it. Clever from Connor Payne. Playing some keep ball as the clock winds down. Steinman takes possession for Wellington, but there won't be time to mount another attack. Referee Kurt Ems brings the first half to a close. Wellington's new skipper Stephen Taylor with some thinking to do and some words to be said at half-time, no doubt. He was part of a defence that left Besart Berisha dangerously alone in that 6-yard box, allowed him to open the scoring in the 34th minute of this one. And it is Berisha's goal that separates the sides. Let's go sideline to Harry Nada with Andrew Durante.
Well, Joe, what a start for you guys. You'd be happy with the way things are going in the first half.
Yeah, so far so good. The game plan's working well, so we're happy.
You're picking up the ball in the middle of the park. You're starting things off into Jurtic. Look very comfortable.
Yeah, it's been good. Like I said, there's another half to go, and at the moment it's comfortable, but we've got to go for another goal.
Well, thanks for your time, mate. Best of luck.
Welcome back to Westpac Stadium and welcome to the A-League. Western United, they lead the Phoenix 1-0 on their A-League debut thanks to Bessa Barisha. I'm joined by Raf de Gregorio and Harry Nata. Gents, initial thoughts on the first half?
Oh, I think the Western United did it quite comfortably, actually, particularly the way they pass the ball, their energy. I think they get players in good positions and they're comfortable on the ball. They can keep the ball well. I think the key players for me being Kone, Diamante, and obviously Durante at the back starting. Everything seems to be going through Urtek, Raf.
Yeah, look, I think you're right. I think they are more comfortable. I think the quality is shown. I think the quality of the players there, you can see the difference, and they're better in possession. But I don't think Rudin will be happy. I think the fact that they don't have any depth in terms of they don't threaten behind means that the Phoenix just can sit there. They can have a good block of defence, good block of midfield, and it's not making it as comfortable to create chances. I think Rudin's not going to be entirely happy with that half.
Well, the Phoenix actually started the better of the two in the first half. They created a host of chances, and David Bull found himself on the end of a few good balls into the box.
Yeah, look, obviously you see David Bull is willing to put the effort and make runs into the box. And what the Phoenix are doing well, even though they are going long back to front often, it's the runs from Soterio and Callum out wide that creates a pocket for Bull to go and fill. And he does that well here. Lovely first touch.
I think that was a fantastic touch, wasn't it, from David Bull? He had another good touch as well in that first half. But you're right. I think the width that the Phoenix are getting, particularly down this left-hand side, David Bull again getting in some action. But I think kind of pain for Western United, particularly in behind the likes of Louis Fenton and Ulysses Davia is causing them all some problems.
Yeah, Connor Payne's pace, that's the only exit back, or they get in behind through him. For the United, that's the threat for them at the moment. And here's the goal, we can see it. Connor Payne's pace, gets in behind, good delivery, comes back across, bang. And who's there? We talk about him all the time. He's the winner, he's the difference, and he's why they're 1-0 up.
You can't give Bessa Barisha, we talked about it in the build-up to the show, didn't we? You can't give him any room. I think it was a clinical finish from that sort of range. Yeah, the Phoenix have had a couple of half chances in terms of shots out wide. This one here, Steinman and Rufer, I think in the middle of the park, have to push on. Urtek, Diamante as well. They need to put pressure on, and particularly in the midfield.
And the numbers don't lie. Possession has been pretty even across the park, especially time in the opposition half. But look at the corners. The Wellington Phoenix have had a lot more set pieces than Western United. Do you think they'll be upset with themselves not to sort of have converted those good chances?
Yeah, I think so. Look, the stats of the position, look, it's pretty even. That's what I'm saying. I think United, even though they've been more comfortable, I don't think they should be too happy.
Look, I think they've got to do... They have to use their possession a lot better, I think. I think particularly they have to be more aggressive. I think the balls are coming into the likes of Macau or out wide to Lavia. They seem quite content to coming back and going out the other side. I think they should be more forceful, more dynamic, and try and push players forward in behind the defensive line of Durante, Chapman and Gullum.
Yeah, but I think, like I said before, and I want to say it again, I think last year, the potential that Rudin had, the ability he had, people like Williams willing to make runs in behind. At the moment, he doesn't have that. And this is where I think he's going to need to go Connor Payne to really as an outlet.
Well, one player that we were excited to see in the yellow shirt is Mexican midfielder Ulysses Davila. And Raf, you mentioned during the half that he probably hadn't got much of the ball as he would like, just because of the way that the Phoenix are playing. But when he does have the ball, he does look dangerous.
Look, when he's in position, he really loses it. I think he's comfortable on the ball, and he looks to link up well. The problem he has is currently the Phoenix, the way they play, they're going quite direct back to front with, you know, with the likes of Taylor getting in position, lively balls into ball, making those little dangled runs. And that's paying dividends for the Phoenix. They are getting some chances.
I think a lot of the ball, too, has been in front of the Melbourne defensive line, even their midfield. We're quite happy to, Fred picked it up in that first half, quite happy to go side to side. I think we've got to be more dynamic, I think, and get Macau. I think Davia, I think he'd be great in that number 10 position. He's been pushed out wide, and I think they've been found out a little bit down that right-hand side, in behind Louis Fenton, and Connor Payne's getting some real good balls.
Yeah, well, not much is actually getting past Western United's anchor in defensive midfield, Dario Judatek. He's been key for them in this first half. What's he been doing so well that's been troubling the Knicks?
Look, I think he's a simple player, and I think he's a quality player. He's good on the ball. He doesn't give the ball away. I think he gets himself into good space, particularly he's getting the ball off the likes of Andy Durante or Connor Chapman at the back, and he's linking in well with Diamante and Kone. So they've got to put pressure on him. Yeah. I think they've got to put someone and push players forward.
I think he's the man they got to watch. He's the one that makes Diamante and Kone link up. Look, if you look at his passes, I think he made 44 passes in that half, and
those are the exact same stats, aren't they, Raf? So that goes to show you you how much both of these men are actually putting into their first game
I'm
of the
surprised.
season.
I don't think the Villa was that involved in the match, but looking at the stats, obviously he's been in there. Yeah, no, definitely they don't.
Well, what would you like to see more of in the second half, guys? Quickly from each side, what would you see them like to do?
I think they've got to push players forward a lot more quicker. I think the Phoenix, I think when they have got possession in and around that attacking third, where it's De Villa on one side or McCoward on the other, I think they've got to be more decisive. We talked about it in the pre-game, Narelle. I think, you know, getting quality ball into decisive areas into the Phoenix.
Yeah, thanks very much, gents. But plenty more football coming up after this. Premier's Perth Glory host Brisbane Roar to round off round one of the A-League. But here at Westpac Stadium, it is the visitors Western United who lead the Phoenix. Stay with us after the break.
Stay connected with your Wellington Phoenix on our social channels. Follow us Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. For all the behind-the-scenes content, get on their YouTube and make sure you hit that subscribe button. And we'll catch you back here at our next home game. We're going to be taking on Perth Glory Sunday, 27th of October. That's a 6 p.m. kickoff this right here at Westpac Stadium. And if you're looking to get yourself a season ticket, now's the time to do it. Make sure you join the Wellington Phoenix family. Grab yourself a season ticket for the Hyundai A-League 2019-20 season.
There's the goal that separates the two sides. Great work from Connor Payne, who's been very prominent down the left. The pullback from Josh Risdon, and Besart Berisha doing what he does best, putting the ball in the back of the net for an historic first goal for Western United in the A-League. And it separates the sides 1-0 at half-time. Let's go down to Harry Nada with Phoenix assistant coach Chris Greenacre.
Well, Greeny, a bit unfortunate to concede one towards the end of that first half. What improvements would you like to see in the second half?
Yeah, just keep moving the ball a little bit quicker than we have done. We have got behind them once or twice and created a couple of good opportunities, so hopefully we can continue doing that, and hopefully we can get that vital goal and get us back in the game.
messages from the players in the first half, in the half-time talk from Uvak Tale, what was said?
Just keep going. Yeah, you know, there's only one goal in it. Again, we're disappointed to have conceded, but we can get the next goal. We'll be right back in it, and I'm sure we can go get the 3 points.
Well, thanks for your time. Best of luck in the second half.
Thank you. Cheers.
Chris Greenacre, he knows a little bit about the Wellington Phoenix, knows a little bit about scoring goals and managing the side. There's a man who knows about scoring goals, the steely determination in the eyes of Besart Berisha. Some members of the Western United coaching staff taking a bit of time to make their way across. Some final words of encouragement from Mark Redan to Andrew Durante and to the rest of the side. No changes to either side as we await the start of the second half. Of course, 7 substitutes allowed now, as long as there are 3 players under 23 in the matchday squad. You can have 7 on the bench, which both teams have taken advantage of today. So plenty of options for both sides as the second half is underway. Wellington Phoenix kicking towards the southern end of Westpac Stadium, the yellow fever end, as it has been since the club began its life 12 years ago, and with some work to do to get back into this one. But as Chris Greenacre said, it's just one goal, just the one goal. But Western United, you have to say, have made a very, very good first impression here. I think they've looked good in the first 45.
They have looked good. They've looked composed on the ball, especially Dario Jurtek. I think he's been the pick of the players on the park so far.
McCowan looking to free up Soterio early in this one. Durante with a header away. Chapman helps out and flag up on this near side. Offside against probably Josh Soterio, I would imagine, during that move.
Yeah, bright opening from the Phoenix in the second half. Trying to show a bit more impetus in the attacking third. I think Chris Greenacre hit the nail on the head. He just said we need to circulate the ball quicker. It's all been a little bit too pedestrian. You can see here McCowan just sliding through and just slightly offside. I think the left foot of Josh Soterio in an offside position.
No VAR intervention thus far. I hope I'm not tempting fate there. We've seen a couple of goals chalked off already this weekend, thanks to the VAR. Elvis Kamsova's goal last night was ruled out, as was Costa Barbarousas's strike for Sydney FC on Friday. Of course, following this game, we're out west with Perth Glory and Brisbane Roar open their respective seasons. We'll have that for you live on Sky Sport and Fox Sports across Australia and New Zealand.
Certainly looking forward to that game. See how Robbie Fowler and his Brisbane side shape up against the runaway league winners last year.
Of course, the not insubstantial acquisition of Bruno Fornaroli as well.
Exactly.
Can't wait to see he and Chris Economides, Diego Castro combine out west. We'll get our first look at a new look Perth Glory in an hour or so. Little nudge in the back by Ersan Gulam there. He protests the decision, but backs off quickly. Quickly taken. Here's Rufa. Now Fenton with the chance to deliver, perhaps, but too close to Curto, who's elected to punch. Jurtek with a header away, back in by Rufa, bouncing around off the heel of Josh Soterio. Could have gone anywhere. Where it went was into the arms of Philip Curto.
Sotirio just helping that one on. Philip Curto hasn't really had a whole heap to do. We saw all through last season what a good shot stopper that Philip Curto is. That's, in fact, both keepers largely untested this evening.
And there was the shot from Kakachi which stung the palms, but I think he saw it from a way out. Steinman. That's a good ball for McCowett. Can he get the better of Connor Chapman? Callum McCowett. Twists and turns, retains the ball. Good from Callum McCowett. He does find a teammate in Steinman. Kakachi. Good defence from Western United. Couple of banks of green and black there, blocking the way to the goal. Tavilla. Once again, the tail on the cross, took it too close to Curto.
But even there, really good attack from the Phoenix because it was direct along the ground all the way, but it was a really good direct attack through the middle of the midfield. Steinman picked up the ball, found McCowett. McCowett on the turn. Better intent from the Phoenix so far.
That's taken a deflection off a Western United defender. Will go behind for a corner. It has been a good start. First 5 minutes of the second half from Wellington. A bit of intent. Getting the crowd and all sorts of garb excited. Tavilla with the corner. Referee just wants to have a word to the throng of players who have assembled in the 6-yard box. Don't ruin it, I think, was Kurt Ams's advice there to both sets of players. Tavilla's delivery towards the near post. It's crowded. Durante got the header away. Gee, he's been good, Andrew Durante, on his return to Westpac Stadium. Chance for Tavilla to send this one in on his less favoured right foot, and not quite the accuracy of his left. Just a few too many crosses, a bit too close to Philip Curto.
He's getting in good wide positions, but the crossing's been pretty average. For me, the game's about tempo for the Phoenix, and that's good from Fenton. Grab a ball, get it in play. Grab a ball, get it in play. Get the ball, get the game moving, get the crowd involved. Try and lift the excitement levels of the game, and also try and move this Western United defence around. The likes of Andrew Durante, Gulam, Chapman, they've just planted themselves in that defensive line and haven't really been stretched across the park.
Look at that from Diamante. That is just lovely skill from the Italian. Just getting himself out of a tight position. It didn't come to anything, but gee, it was lovely to watch. That's not going to come to anything either. I don't think Sotirio's going to track that one down. Steinman looking to get more and more involved. Kakachi. Bursts inside, it's good from Kakachi. Goes past Tavilla, and Payne can tidy up, and I wonder whether there might be a bit of a mini break on here. Well, there might have been if Luke Tavilla hadn't come through Pesat Barisha like that. I wonder whether Kurt Ams might think about a card here. That wasn't a great challenge really from Luke Tavilla.
Yeah, just came through the back. Pesat Barisha. Looking at the replay, not sure he actually collected him low down. I think more the contact was higher up on the body, but Pesat Barisha making the point to the referee.
Chance for a drink for a couple of these players. Luke Tavilla, 110 appearances for Brisbane across 2 stints with them. In between, he was in Korea for 4 seasons. The big Kakachi has got a bit of a taste for it in the attacking third. We know that. Berisha back on his feet. Looks as though he'll be fine to continue. The Western United substitutes, meantime, are warming up at the northern end, as are the Wellington Phoenix subs at the southern end. Berisha good to go. And he jogs back on. Immediately back into the action, Besart Berisha. Kone looking for a rather ambitious pass. I think Chapman was the target. It might have been Risdon, perhaps. In any case, Western United have come away with it. McDonald touches it off. Kone. Diamante looking to bring Connor Payne in. He's been probably the most dangerous attacker for Western United. Diamante, what a ball for Connor Payne. Berisha, oh, what a lovely move. Diamante, Payne, Berisha. Alessandro Diamante can see things on a football pitch others can't, and that was a great example there. Look at this ball.
Yeah, great positioning from Diamante. Again, as he comes across from right to left, just outside the box, sees the run from Payne. He's just waiting for it, sees where the gap is. And I'm sure through the season, we'll see Besart Berisha taking advantage of some of those.
Push in the back there. Stefan Marinovic made a good save. It wouldn't have counted anyway, but
Diamante delivers the ball, it's a shove in the back, and then he's headed Gullum there. He's headed the back of Besart Berisha's head. So, bit of friendly fire.
good to see some Western United fans have made the trip to witness their side's first foray into the A-League. Great to have them in Wellington as well, enjoying themselves, rugged up against what is a pretty nice Wellington day, actually. I know it's warmer in Melbourne, but hoodies and jackets up there in the Western United fan base. Good to have you here in Wellington. Little nutmeg from Davilia, gets away from Connor Payne, and another one as well, Davilia. Their third tackle was the one that got him, but just a glimpse of what the Mexican can do in tight areas. Here he is again. This time it's taken off him by a retreating McDonald. Berisha, he's got Diamante with him. Another delicious pass. This is McDonald now. Back into the area and headed goalwards. Gee, they look a good side already, don't they? Western United, they're going to add plenty to the Hyundai A-League.
Certainly got some quality. See, that time Diamante just pushes right up, found at the point of the attack. The attack was heading right across to the right-hand side of the pitch, and just turns and finds McDonald. So got a good passing range as well, Alessandro Diamante. Good addition to the league so far.
That one's come off Scott McDonald last, says the assistant referee. The build-up from Wellington just a bit more labour than that of Western United. Steinman and Rufer picking the ball up in the same areas, but
the difference there, Piney, is that Rufer and Steinman are picking up the ball and they're not even breaking the first line of Berisha. Whereas when you see Dario Jerkic gets the ball, he's already broken the front line of David Ball and Josh Sotirio.
Here's Rufer. He's encouraged to shoot. He will shoot. Still looking for his first A-League goal. And there's that trademark Philip Curto dive for shots that he knows are not going to trouble him. He likes to bring out the dive anyway. Our first evidence of it in the new season.
Yeah, I think Western United won't be too worried if the Wellington Phoenix are reduced to Alex Rufer having pops from 30-40 metres out. You can see Curto there just throwing himself to the side.
Yeah, he certainly brings plenty of colour to the A-League, the Polish goalkeeper. When the recruitment was going on for Western United, they were very keen to get a genuine number one. Just the one-year contract in Wellington for Philip Curto, that allowed Western United to get an offer on the table for him. McCowart. He's looked pretty good as well, and I think he's earned a corner there off Connor Chapman. He has. Good A-League debut for Callum McCowart. Prolific goal scorer in the ISPS Hunter Premiership last season for Eastern Suburbs, the eventual champions. Making the step up for the A-League tonight and taking this corner. Curto came and then didn't come back by De Vere. And what's the referee seen here? A push in the back by Luke De Vere, was it?
And climbing all over the back of Andrew Durante. Luke De Vere. Ball played deep. You can see here De Vere and Durante sort of backing out. De Vere, not sure about that. I think De Vere just gets up well, keeps his hands by his side. Jumped early, so meaning Andrew Durante couldn't jump. I think that was good technique by Luke De Vere.
Now, Alex Rufer might find himself in trouble here. He's surrounded by Western United players. Stephen Taylor's come in to lend a hand. Andrew Durante wants to break it up. A couple of his old mates there. A word in the air there of Alex Rufer. Alessandro Diamante also looks like peacemaker in there. I don't see too much as far as anger is concerned on his face. It was Kone who got the rough end of the challenge from Alex Rufer, who does receive the first yellow card of the evening. Had a bit of a habit of picking them up last season, Alex Rufer.
Yeah, ball bounces, second phase ball. Rufer allowed decent commitment shown by Alex Rufer. Yes, it's a foul. And Kone just a little bit too quick for Alex Rufer. But I think there, the reaction from Western United was the result, or resulted in Rufer picking up his first yellow card.
Given away by Goulam, forward by Steinman, but cut out by Durante. Kone showing no ill effects of the challenge from Rufer. Diamante. Once again, that cultured left foot towards Berisha. Alessandro Diamante with the ball on a string, and Berisha with a hearty round of applause for his skipper.
Yeah, Diamante in a pretty free role, in that attacking midfield area. Looks like Mark Rudin just said to him, like, don't mind you just filling spaces in the attacking third of the field. Get on the ball.
Oh, given away by Durante. Chance for Sotirio to break. 3 or 4 up with him. Sotirio straight into the arms of Curto. No end product, unfortunately, from Josh Sotirio.
It's gone a bit wide, been pushed a bit wide, Josh Sotirio. Again, opportunity for counter-attack there from the Wellington Phoenix. And Sotirio just, let's say, pushed wide in the 18-yard box onto his left foot. And it was a pretty comfortable save for Philip Curto.
Looks like we're about to see our first change. Reno Piscopo is stripped and ready to enter the fray. We're hearing it's David Ball who is going to make way, so that'll necessitate a bit of a change as well. I wouldn't imagine Reno Piscopo will go into a centre forward role. He's more of a winger. Fenton trying to get away from Connor Payne, who does well to take the ball off him with the help of McDonald. Gullum smashes it into Fenton, and now we're going to see that change. A-League debut for the young Australian Rino Piscopo. 6 years at Inter Milan. Played under 15, 16 and 17 football for Italy. Has represented Australia at under 20 and under 23 level, coached by Ufuk Talay in the Australian under 20s. That's where the connection came. Rino Piscopo, a first opportunity to play in the A-League for the 21-year-old. First chance to get involved here, Piscopo. Dispossessed by Jurtek. Riston has it taken off him, and then foul by Josh Riston. And the referee might want to have a word in the air of Josh Riston here. I don't think a card's coming out, just a chat perhaps. Although Kurt Am seems pretty keen on having a conversation.
I think if the rest of the Phoenix players had reacted like Western United to the Alex Rufer foul, then that's a yellow card as well. I think it's just the experience that is in this Western United team.
Fenton again looking to go at Payne, who does well to keep up. McDonald also back helping out. Rufer trying to find De Villa. Battles to get it back, the Mexican. Then goes down under challenge from Durante, nothing wrong with it. Diamante. What can he do as he's surrounded by yellow shirts? Tries to play one into the path of Kone. He's going to get another opportunity. Diamante. McDonald finds Berisha, who's dropped a bit deeper. McDonald again into the penalty area. Scott McDonald breezes past Fenton. Back across goal. No one there to apply the finishing touch for the visitors. McCowart now with a bit of real estate to work in. Villa wants it in the middle of the park. Urged to shoot. Will he get it onto left foot and have a lick? Instead he brings Steinman in. Now Fenton. Steinman wants a return pass and gets it. Gullum comes across the 6-yard box, and Durante again in the way with Soterio lurking. Lovely from McDonald to get that out of a tight space and free up Connor Payne. Berisha is labouring a little bit down on this left flank. I get the feeling Bessa Berisha might have done his dash. He hasn't played for a long time. You can see down bottom of screen there a substitution, although that is a defensive player, and Jonathan Aspropotomitis who's getting ready to enter the fray.
Yeah, you're right, Piney. Aspropotomitis is stripped off, ready to go, but is receiving some last-minute instructions. Mark Redan on the sideline there with Gullum. Seems to be a bit of confusion of who is actually going to be coming off. Aspropotomitis is actually looks like he's putting a bib back on the sideline here, so not a change at this stage from Mark Redan.
Support staff everywhere for West as Tim Payne gets ready to enter the fray.
Yeah, so Western United have decided not to make the change. Wellington will. Tim Payne, as you say, Fred, with his A-League debut as well. He's been around for a while, though. 18 all-whites caps for Tim Payne, captain Eastern Suburbs for the last couple of seasons. Louis Fenton makes way. Diamante with the delivery. Kone with the shot that lands up in the Western United fan base. Into the final quarter of the game.
Be interesting to see if Tim Payne can get forward and get in behind Connor Payne. Probably a little bit quicker than Louis Fenton, Tim Payne.
Yeah, not a natural right back, but certainly a very versatile player. He can play anywhere along the back four, really, and in midfield. His versatility, I think, is part of the attraction for Ufuk Talay.
Absolutely, Piney, and certainly a very, very committed footballer as well. He works incredibly hard for his team. So maybe he can be a point of difference here down the right.
Rufa lets it go for Piscopo. And now frees up Tim Payne, his first opportunity in the attacking third. The delivery's really good, actually. Back across goal, and then Rufa with an opportunity. McCowart's ball got to him probably quicker than he would have imagined, and he couldn't direct his header goalwards from a handy position. Good from Payne, good from McCowart, not so from Rufa.
Yeah, beautiful ball from Tim Payne. And McCowart just blasts that one back across the face of goal. Give credit to Rufa for actually getting himself into the penalty area, but that's a very, very good chance for the Wellington Phoenix. It goes begging.
Yeah, great opportunity. And while you're talking about Tim Payne and how he might be able to get forward, he didn't use his pace, but certainly the precision on the pass. Chapman wasn't sure, he let it run across him. McCowart with the rifled left-footed ball back in, and Rufa not able to direct it down. Promising signs though as McCowart gets involved again. Callum McCowart across the 6-yard box, Gulam behind for a corner. Callum McCowart becoming more and more prominent.
Yeah, better from the Phoenix because they're pressing.
Taken quickly, Curto punches and punches well. De Vera, I think, was trying to find Piscopo with a rather ambitious pass. All hands on deck for Western United as they look to repel the Phoenix attacks. Scott McDonald's all over the park. I've been impressed with him and the way he's involved himself defensively as well as up top. Here he is now, Scott McDonald, in a more familiar part of the pitch. Risdon calms things down, and Western United with a chance to build something through Connor Payne, who's been less prominent in the second half, but tries to get past Tim Payne, who got his body in a fairly good position to deny him. Rufa looking for Soterio. Gulam in the way with a pretty crucial header. Piscopo running towards goal. Good from Rena Piscopo. Davidia bouncing around Durante with the header. Gulam with a diving header, and I think that's deflected off a Western United player and Connor Payne. It's behind for another corner. Wellington's 8th of the game, just the one for Western United so far. Yellow fever urging their side towards an equaliser. Deep cross. They'll get a chance to recycle this through Piscopo. Curto will come and grab that one okay. That's what you want from your goalkeeper if you're Western United. A couple of pats on the back from teammates as he gathered that one. And he's done so to a bit of personal harm, I think, has he?
Finally, we are going to see Jonathan Aspropotomides, number 15. Come on for Western United. John Hutchinson, assistant coach, is just getting some feedback from Mark Rodan. Well, it looks like they're just going to hold fire at the moment while they assess Philip Curto. Again, seems to be a bit of confusion on the sideline here for Western United.
Philip Curto comes forward. Not really sure out of that one. Maybe it was one before that, because certainly there was no contact there with his right leg, maybe when he landed, but
and for the second
I think it's
time,
that one where he's run into Stephen Taylor.
sorry Fred, I was just going to say, and for the second time, Jonathan Aspropotomides has put another bib on and is warming up again behind the dugout here, so
He must wonder what he's got to do to get on, Harry. A couple of times he's been summoned, a couple of times he's had to put the bib back on.
Maybe he's going to put him in goal then.
Diamante away from De Vere and Steinman. Steinman brings him down. Free kick for Western United. Little kiss from Besart Berisha for his captain.
Been good tonight, Alessandro Diamante. Just playing between the lines for Western United, picking up the ball, always looking to initiate something in attack. And if there wasn't anything on, just maintaining possession. Clever footballer. We've seen him hit 2 shots from outside the box in the first half. Looks like he's going again.
He is indeed. Straight into the defensive wall, which did its job. McDonald continues to battle away manfully. That one's come off Berisha for a Wellington goal kick. Inside the final 15 minutes here in New Zealand. Remembering we'll take you to Perth after this game for the Glory's first match of the season at home to Brisbane Roar. Kakachi gets a lucky bounce and then is fouled, is he? No, says the referee. De Vere stretching to prevent a snap attack from Western United. Here's Tim Payne.
seems like Groundhog Day down here, guys. Aspropotomides is now standing sideline, about to make way for number 22, Wilson Gullum.
All right, so a swap at the back coming for Western United. Before that can happen, Wellington with another chance to attack.
Bit of movement down here for the Wellington Phoenix as well. Ben Wayne making his way on.
It's Piscopo. Tight area, lines up a shot. Radar off from Reno Piscopo. So the long-awaited arrival of Jonathan Aspropotomides, I think, is going to happen now, is it? Or is there another hold-up? No, the board is going to go up this time. And as you outlined, Harry, it is Ersin Gulam who's going to make way. Four seasons with Western Sydney for Jonathan Aspropotomides. Central Coast Mariners last season, of course, following his recovery from a long layoff after that ACL injury. And at the same time, Ben Wayne, youth international for New Zealand. makes his way on in place of Matty Steinman. That is an attacking move, obviously, from Ufuk Talay. Ben Waine, an out-and-out striker.
It looks like Piscopo's just dropped into the second line of attack, and Ben Waine heads right up top alongside Josh Chaturio.
Well, he's a good goal-scoring form at the moment, Ben Waine, following the Olympic qualifying tournament recently in Fiji. 8 goals in 5 games for New Zealand as they qualify for next year's Olympics. Payne with the cross. Durante with the header away. Again, McDonald is back, helping out. Diamante with the shove from Rufer.
I've been impressed with Alessandro Diamante tonight. He's worked so hard, both with the ball and off the ball. You see there, getting his body position just in front of Alex Rufer, but
he looks like a character too, doesn't he? Having a word there to Ufuk Talay, who's providing a retort. But it looks like he's the kind of guy who plays football with a smile on his face, Harry.
He does, doesn't he? He doesn't mind a few stickers as well, by the looks of things.
Bit of uncertainty in the Phoenix defence there, but Marinovic, who's been almost unemployed, really. I've hardly called his name. Who can pick the lock for Wellington? De Villa sees Kakachi on the far side. Ball a bit narrow, though. Payne climbs up and over the top of McDonald illegally. Well, he's always been a fairly robust player, hasn't he, Tim Payne?
Tim Payne, everyone to back out of a challenge. Straight through the back of Scott McDonald that time. McDonald's been impressive. You're right, Piney. Both him and Diamante just all over the park. Strong on the ball. As we get another substitution for Western United.
I think it's Dario Jurtek who's coming off, and here's a player we certainly didn't expect to see here today. He's been signed as a injury replacement for Valentino Yule. This has happened really in the last 24 hours. In fact, it's Berisha who's coming off. Yeah, Berisha coming off. And Kwabena Apia, former Wellington Phoenix player, of course, makes his way on. A robust hug for Bessa Berisha from his coach, Mark Redan. The one thing we know about Kwabena Apia is that he's quick. Will no doubt look to cause some issues for the Phoenix defence late in this one. On the ball immediately.
I think, Piney, when you evaluate the performance of these Western United players, and you talked about Scott McDonald, you talked about Kone, we talked about Diamante, talked about Durante, have all been had key integral roles in this performance this evening for Western United. They're all sort of 34, 35, 36.
Diamante, good save by Marinovic, sorry, Harry. And then Risdon looking to follow up. You're right, though, H, there's a lot of experience in this side, and you wonder whether that's the building blocks upon which a really successful season might be about to be launched.
That's what I'm saying, mate. You look at the team sheet, you look at the age. You don't look at the ages necessarily because they're quality players, and if they're, no matter how old you are, if you're there and you've got quality, you can make a difference. Jurtek is another one. Croatian boy in the middle of the park, sort of 34 years old, and they're all been quality tonight.
Yep. Diamante 36, McDonald 36. Jurtek 34, Berisha 34, Durante 37. It's a really experienced side. Kone 32 as well. They've all played a great role tonight. Curto with a vital punch there with Ben Waine lurking behind him. Api is off with that distinctive running style. Calm play by Marinovic.
I'm just going to say it's another quality ball by Tim Payne into the box. He's made 2 or 3 quality crosses since he's been on.
Time running out for Wellington, but still 6.5 plus stoppages. Payne again lines up across. It's another good one. Cut out, though, by Western United. Just a lovely little touch there from Diamante to get away from Rufo, who's now struggling to keep up. He's going to have a go. And the radar slightly off. I think Marinovic probably could see it coming, but Alessandro Diamante's showing us all the tricks in his arsenal tonight. He is going to delight us this A-League season without question.
I think he was waiting for Apia Kube to make a run, and when that run didn't come, or it was shielded by the defence, Diamante thought, oh, well, let's have a pop. Try and catch Marinovic off his line.
That one was aimed for Apia, cut out by Taylor. Ufuk-Talay has spent pretty much the whole game standing up in his technical area. Same goes for Mark Rudan. Luke De Vere with a almost calamitous slip there in the centre circle. Payne again. And this time he's completely missed his kick.
So for the Phoenix, I think, as they're building up from the back and they're playing the ball across the park, a couple of times we've seen Alex Rufo or Stephen Taylor's got the ball. They've got to miss out a player to get the ball wide quicker. But every time it goes all the way across through every player in the back line, you've got to miss some players out to get the ball wide, to give the wide guy more time and space. Because it's too easy for the defensive team just to shift across and then nullify the effects at the end.
Oh, here they go again with the party tricks. Diamante heavily involved early in that move, tried to free up. Apia couldn't do so. I think we're going to see Max Burgess in a second for Western United. The third of the Western United players who were here in Wellington last season. Stripped and ready there in the number 14. Crowd impatiently urging Wellington forward. Risdon with a header which averted any danger.
Beautiful technique there from McDonald. Just backing into the defender, standing him up.
Now the shot from McDonald, surely! That's a really good save from Stefan Marinovic. That's going in the top corner, but for his intervention.
Wonderful football. McDonald in the first instance just to hold the ball up. Connor Payne finds him edge of the box, and that's a wonderful save. Just flings himself across his goal. Stefan Marinovic, strong hand to parry that one away.
Hasn't had a heck of a lot to do, Stefan Marinovic, but that is a cracking save. McDonald again involved. Piscopo trying to regain possession for Wellington. The clock continues to tick down. Substitute coming now for Western United. Max Burgess is going to have a Western United debut, and it's going to be in place of the industrious Scott McDonald. At the age of 36, he has shown every bit of that experience, but also boundless energy. They've got a good one there as well. Western United and the former Socceroo Scott McDonald. Here comes Max Burgess, 23 games for Wellington last season, the 24-year-old. Similar reception for him that Durante and Curto and Rudan have got. I'm sure he won't mind a bit. 2 minutes plus stoppages to go for Wellington. Crowd trying to lift their team one more time. Piscopo. He'll try and launch one in. Again, a bit too close for Soterio to attack, although he gave it his best shot. Always out-muscled there by Philip Curto.
Phoenix pushing plenty of players forward, as you'd expect. Just a couple of minutes to go. Push stoppage time. McCowett push forward. This is Soterio's up there. Ben Wayne. This is De Villa as well.
Burgess with his first involvement. Payne has been good since he's come on. Tim Payne. Into the final minute. Just trying to get confirmation of how many extra minutes. We're hearing it substantial. Have I heard that correctly? 7 extra minutes to be added. 7. Not quite sure where they found that, but that's what we're being told. Away by Payne. Roofer thought about the shot and then thought better of it. Tim Payne faced by Connor Payne. Roofer into McCowett. Probing. There's the confirmation of the extra 7 minutes of play. Towards the far post, Ben Wayne is there. And once again, it's the theatrical dive by Curto. He knew that was missing. It's trademark Philip Curto. Ben Wayne with a sight on goal.
Your former Eastern Suburbs teammates Payne and McCowett fashioning across, and Ben Wayne under pressure, trying to get his header on target. Curto's getting across there, and then knows the ball's going past, so hurls himself across the face of his goal. Again, good work from Payne. Clash of heads on halfway. So this will add to that 7 there, Piney.
Yeah, Jertek and De Villa, I think, are the 2 involved there. So there'll be another stoppage now. Western United looking forward to their first home game next weekend. They host Perth Glory at GMHBA Stadium in South Geelong on Saturday. Couldn't have a home game this weekend because Crusty Demons are on at that venue, Fred. We've got Perth against Brisbane next at the conclusion of this game. Get the feeling they'll have to hold the kick-off because there's still a few minutes to play here. Wellington Phoenix are away next weekend. They take on Sydney FC at Leichhardt Oval a week tonight.
Yeah, tough run for the Phoenix. Sydney, Perth, Victory, City. So
there's a bit of concern here for Dario Jertek as he just won the header but then flung his head back right into the head of De Villa, and I think Jertek has come off second best there for sure. There's a bit of concern about him. Well, we can see the claret there. Jertek. As with head injuries, we just need to make sure that everything's okay for the Croatian. Jertek is back on his feet, which is good news. He's walking towards the sideline. He and De Villa will re-enter the fray. They might need a stitch or two for Dario Jertek at the end of this one. For the meantime, it's just a headband to
the bandage
to keep the blood in for the next. Well, it's going to be probably another 7 minutes, isn't it? We might have a 100-minute game here. Rufer banks one towards Wayne, doesn't get there. Chapman in the way. Kikachi tries to breeze past Risdon, does, ball towards the far post. Drifting away from those in the penalty area. Payne recycles, back in by Rufer. Soterio again trying to direct it goalwards. Curto comes and doesn't get, and it's going to be against Stephen Taylor, I think. Yellow card there for Stephen Taylor, I think.
It must have been something he said. Not even sure where the foul is here, unless he's offside. He hasn't done anything, so he just heads the ball and then, well, maybe he thinks he drops to the ground on his knees, but you've got to think it's something that he said, because, yeah, you got to wonder where the foul is. I think maybe the refs...
Yeah, a bit of confusion here about what the actual restart should be, and there's a little bit of push and shove. Connor Chapman trying to play peacemaker. Kurt Am's just trying to calm things down and explain the situation. Stephen Taylor thinks they've got the ball.
Ref's got the ball and he's off, Piney.
Yeah, he's surrounded. He's like a school teacher trying to keep control of his rowdy class. As this happens, of course, time ticks on. We've had 5 extra minutes. We need Andy Howe, the stato, to tell us what the longest A-League game ever without extra time is. We're going to go well into 3 figures here in terms of minutes. This is going to be 100 minutes. Hope our graphics team can deal with it. Right, now how are we going to restart this one? Is it going to be a Phoenix free kick?
I think the referee's actually got that wrong. But I think as far as, I think he's given it the wrong way. I think he's thought it's a foul, he's given it the wrong way. Plays played on, and then he's corrected his decision. So that's how I see it.
Is the free kick for the earlier foul on Soterio? I wonder, because there was in the background of that motion vision, slow motion vision we saw from Taylor jumping with Curto. Soterio had gone down. I wonder whether it's for that foul. The upshot is an indirect free kick inside the penalty area for the Wellington Phoenix.
Stephen Taylor getting in the face of Philip Curto as well. Indirect, of course.
Rufer and Davia trying to cook something up. Deep into added time. Everybody back for Western United. It's not really a situation you get very often, so I'm not sure they've got a planned move for it. Let's see. Touched off, Davia! And the upshot is a shot wide, and now Curto's running out and sort of remonstrating with, I think, his own wall. I think he's having a go at Max Burgess there. He sprinted from his line. It's all happening here in the final few minutes.
The ball comes rushing out, as you'd expect, inside the penalty area. I think part of this is Philip Curto just wasting some time, getting himself well outside the box, having to walk all the way back.
Well, goodness only knows how many extra minutes we're going to eventually play. We've had the stoppage for the injury, the stoppage for that free kick. Here's Wayne. Piscopo completely misses his kick. Diamante charging forward, but then gives up the races. Ben Wayne sprints all the way back to regather for Wellington into the 9th minute of added time here in the capital of New Zealand. Diamante goes down theatrically. Nothing doing, says the referee. Piscopo. Davia. Burgess takes it off his toe. Western United just trying to get it down the other end.
Everyone just pushing forward for the Phoenix. Just a line of 5 players up front for Rufa to aim at. Got to get the ball in the box.
They might be able to now through Kakachi. Bangs into a Western United defender. So delivery not what it could have been. We're being told the reason for the free kick earlier was that the Western United player entered the field without the referee's permission and interfered with play. That was the reason for the free kick. So we can unravel that mystery for you. We're approaching the 100th minute. In fact, we're in it. We're in the 100th minute. I don't think I've ever said that in a game of football. Payne. Crowded penalty area, bouncing around. Pinball, hacked away. De Villa. Kakachi, urged to shoot. Up and over, and Kurto dives into his own net. Do not adjust your sets. We have ticked over 100 minutes here. Just when you think you've seen everything in the A-League, you get something new. Western United desperate to see this one out. Nobody's in any hurry to take the throw. All eyes on the referee. Western United start with a win. It's a happy return to Wellington for Mark Rudan, Andrew Durante, Philip Kurto, Max Burgess, and it's an ecstatic Western United. The A-League's newest club has opened with a win thanks to an old face. Besart Berisha has the goal that gives Western United all 3 points. Full time in Wellington. The Wellington Phoenix 0, Western United 1.